You're listening to the Berks Weekly Podcast. My name is Jason Hugg, and my guest today is Branden Moyer. Tell me a little bit about yourself for people who don't already know who Branden Moyer is. By the way, we are recording this inside the Shillington Farmers Market, where Branden has a nice little stand for Uncle Bee's honey.
Yes.
Which is his new venture since COVID.
Yep.
But it's expanded. So, first, like I said, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Graduate of Mifflin, 2008. After that, wanted to build roller coasters and theme park rides. Went down to the Walt Disney World Company, worked with them for a few years in their college program, and came back cleaning toilets. Completely two different realms in the industry. And I will tell you, being a janitor for the Walt Disney World Company, I've got to meet people that many people will never meet, and it was a blast. The experience was a blast. I wouldn't trade it in for anything else. The reason why I left, they didn't pay as much. So I moved back in 2014 with what I knew as far as the cleaning, and started my own cleaning company, Home Care Solution. And we've been in business from that experience. Yeah. And we've been in business. It'll be 9 years this year.
Oh wow!
But COVID happened, as we all know, and we were shut down. Ordered to shut down, and it was only supposed to be for 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, I know. I lived through it all too.
4 months later, So, after a few weeks, I wanted to go into the pandemic learning something new, and I was exposed to beekeeping a year before, and I loved it. Got stung a few times in the hands, but it was sort of love at first sting, So, I started with that. Started with one hive. Absolutely just rocked it. I went on YouTube. Went online, read books, the typical thing you do when you get into beekeeping. You want to fill your head with all this information the first year before you even start buying bees. Because bees are livestock. They're considered livestock. So you need to view them as that, and not just an insect that, well, if you happen to kill them, you can always buy more. That may be the truth, but that's still livestock, and it's a whole colony of genetics that, you could wipe out.
Oh, wow.
Just by not knowing certain things.
You built a lot in your backyard, so tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we acquired a property in Kenhurst. It was a junkyard for about 30, 40 years. Bought it for $1,000. And it almost seems like every company that I start with $1,000. My cleaning company, all I had was $1,000 to my name. The back apiary was only $1,000. So there's sort of a $1,000 tone here for starting businesses, and got it for $1,000. Cleaned it up for about 6-7 months. It took to get everything out. We removed about 15,000 pounds of trash and debris back there. Wow. 3 cars were back there hidden. Yeah, it was just a mess. And when we finally got everything out, and I got into beekeeping, I'm thinking, man, this is the perfect spot to create an apiary. So currently we have 15 hives back there, which they will all be moved soon down to downtown Reading on top of the DoubleTree.
Oh, okay, nice.
So the DoubleTree will have approximately 20 to 25 beehives on top of the rooftop, along with a 60-foot fence mural that Juan, our artist here, painted the life cycle of a honeybee. So guests will be able to come out onto the rooftop and be greeted by this long 60-foot fence.
Wow.
A teachable moment as they're walking towards the beehive area. So I'm super excited about that.
What do bees do in the community, and how do they affect everyday life?
Sure. So bees in general, not just honeybees, are so important to our very existence. They'll pollinate up to 75% of what you see in the grocery stores in the produce section and such. So it's very important that they have a place to feed. And what we're doing as a species is we're getting too much into monoculturing, which is one primary plant like corn, taking over acres and acres. That seems great for us as a species because we use corn in a lot of things, not just food source. However, bees have to fly longer distances to find food. And when that happens, they get exhausted quicker, and then their colony starts to collapse quickly. Bees will fly up to 6 miles one way to find food, and then fly right back. It's pretty amazing. One hive in a 1 year period has the capability of pollinating 500 million flowers.
Oh, wow.
And so the Uncle Bee's Honey Company is proud that we pollinate up to 15 billion flowers in Berks County alone with our hives. And the majority of that will be downtown Reading, we're super excited about that. There's the 3 different types of honeybees. We got the queen bee, we got the worker bee, and we got the drone bee. The queen, she'll live between 3 to 5 years, as she does. She'll only need to mate once, and she'll have enough genetic material to last her entire lifetime.
Oh, wow.
The worker bees, they'll live 4 to 7 weeks. And the worker bees are very unique. They're all female.
Okay.
And they will do up to 8 different jobs inside the hive, from an undertaker to a nurse to the guard bee and to the last stage of her life, which is a forager, which is the last 2 weeks of their life. So when you see a honeybee outside at a flower, just know her time is very, very limited.
Yeah. Right.
She has maybe 2 weeks left, and she'll only collect 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey in her entire lifetime.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's why it's so imperative that the honeybee colonies, their population grow really quickly, because the more that they have, the more honey that they can produce, which is a food source for them alone.
Right.
Right. And a good beekeeper will only take about 50% for the beekeeper and leave the rest for the hive themselves.
Okay.
And then you have the drones. The drones are just like husbands. They're the only male bees. They're sort of useless in the sense of they don't provide anything for the hive, except for they'll eat, and then they'll kind of get in the way. Their only main role is to reproduce with the queens in a drone congregation area, a couple 100 yards from hives. So, and then in the fall, all the worker bees, all the wives I call them, they kick them out. You're going to start finding the drones just wandering around aimlessly.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so because they need to reserve their food for an actual colony that's going to forward their species during the winter time.
Right.
And drones are just not part of that plan.
Right.
So it's a very interesting species. And again, the honeybees are just not the only ones that matter. You got your solitary bees, like your mason bees, where you see the bee boxes with the tubes inside.
Yes.
So those are mainly for solitary bees, such as the mason bee. They're very important as well. Believe it or not, honeybees are not the most efficient pollinator, even though they can outnumber solitary bees. Like the leafcutter bee is much more appropriate in their sense of pollinating more apples than an actual honeybee can. So the bumblebee, per se. Bumblebees are used actually in greenhouses because there's certain plants that require certain vibration. And a honeybee cannot match that frequency. Like your watermelons, your pumpkins, squash plants. The bigger the flower, the bigger the bee requires for that sort of pollination.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
So, yep. They're remarkable little insects. They're needed insects. The main cause of a lot of Save the Bee campaigns and stuff are, with the chemicals that we're using. That is the neonicotinoids that we're spreading across the farmlands and such, even on the seeds themselves. That is the big issue. And of course, habitat destruction. As our population increases, more housing needs to be developed. So we're literally pushing everything outwards. And we're going to get to a point where there's regions in China where their plants are hand-pollinated with paintbrushes with their locals. So that's a sort of future that we will, not if, but we will get to if things continue on this sort of direction.
So not only are you a beekeeper, but you also wrote a book to be an educator.
Yes.
And to get this out. Tell me about, why write a book? Why put that together for kids? Because it's a kid's book, right?
Yes. So The Adventures of Uncle Bee and Ruby Catching a Swarm. And I chose my dog, Ruby. She's a cute little dachshund, long-haired dachshund. She gets into everything. She's an adventurer. And I said, you know what other way besides putting on a bee suit can I help educate people from even far distances?
Yeah.
And I always wanted to write a book, either an adult book, kid's book, teenager book, whatever. So I decided to start with a child's book, and I had so much fun with it. The education that I have is something that when they open it, it's not just your typical children's book telling a story, but it engages them onto pick, okay, what suit should we wear to go catch a swarm? What tool do we need to go catch and help with this? So it engages the reader, and I know over the Christmas break, I've gotten so many text messages and private messages of pictures of their kid with their dog reading the book, and it was really neat to know that there was an impact on someone's life like that.
Oh, wow.
And that there was so much love for bees, and even a dog, just having an adventure. So I have 4 more books that are coming out hopefully this year. We got at least 2 coming out this year for sure.
Okay.
And I'm super excited about that. It's something that is going to really blow up for our business. We want to definitely invest a lot into the education part, and reaching as many kids as we can, even with digital products that we're eventually going to be coming out with on our platform. Having some sort of like kid zone on our website that they can log in and start learning about bees without ever having to step foot in a hive.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Safely, So yeah, we're pretty excited for that, and it's going to be a very busy year coming up.
Yeah, tell me, because like I said, we're at the beginning of the episode here. We're standing in the Shillington Farmers Market, and Branden is currently redesigning his stand here. Tell me a little bit about that, what you're incorporating, the products you sell. Yeah,
so we as our brand, we want to educate and definitely promote healthy alternatives, and honey is obviously the best alternative to sugar. So we want to make sure that when you come into an Uncle Bee's retail spot, you're going to experience an educational piece on the honey, some interactive piece, and especially if you have little ones that come with you, they'll be able to touch some light up honeycombs that react to their touch and voice. So we're super excited about that. And along with that, tasting the honey from around the world as well. There's over 300 different honey profiles that exist. Some that are super, super sweet, all the way to the ones that are so very earthy that people may not like, but hey, we still want to offer it to people because it may be good in tea.
Right.
And there's some honeys that are hypnotic, believe it or not. So like the Himalayan honey, the type of honeybee that produces the sort of toxins inside their gut give us a very hypnotic feeling, high feeling. So that's sort of unique. And the Manuka honey, everyone knows Manuka from New Zealand. It's the only type of honey that is produced in New Zealand because New Zealand is the only country in the world that has that sort of bush. So that's very unique, and it's the medicinal properties on that is out of this world, literally. So we want people to experience different types of honey. In fact, we built a bar behind you, and people are going to be able to order food, sit down at the bar, and enjoy our barbecue sauces and our hot sauces that we have produced. And sample that stuff. And then if they like it, they can come walking right in and purchase that.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and we even have a fill your own jar station here.
Yeah, I was going to ask what this big drum here is.
Yeah. So we'll have a honey of the month. And they'll be able to pick a jar, fill it up, and then the kids will be able to experience what that is. The just the honey just dripping out of the
Yeah,
container. They could do slow, fast, whatever they want to do with it.
A little different than going to the grocery store and just buying the bear.
Exactly. And we're all about experience here at the Uncle Bee's Honey Company. And that's what we want to really allow our folks to enjoy, experience. And we even got our honey vault over here, busting out with honey, as you can see. So we're super excited about this opening up, and we got about a week left till we open February 23rd at the Shillington Farmers Market.
Because you didn't know anything about bees or any of this before, correct?
Right. Yeah. I was a newbie.
Yeah. So what kind of experiences did you go through that kind of went, okay, I have to learn this better, I have to do this better?
So with any business, I encourage people to make mistakes, and a lot of them. Success is built on a mountain of failures and lessons. That's the summit that we all see. So I started out with a tiny stand in the alleyway at our apiary in Kenhurst.
Oh, okay.
I would obviously get the honey, put them in the jars, and put them out there, and it was an honesty stand, essentially.
Right, yeah, you put in the money and...
I couldn't keep up with the demand there.
Okay.
And I knew it was on to something. And luckily, people were completely honest. I don't think I had anyone steal anything and not leave the money. So I said, okay, well, what else can I do here? I mean, I have something. I didn't have a brand. I didn't have I had a name, just the Uncle Bee's Bees, I think it was called.
Yeah, because it's just a hobby at that point,
it's just a hobby. And with me, hobbies aren't just hobbies, especially when I can see the potential. So I built a stand on wheels, which is actually right behind me. And then I said, let me try doing some festivals and such things like that, and getting out to the public more. And we did a couple. We did the West Reading, what's the big one? The West Reading Festival.
Army Avenue or Fall Fest?
Is it Fall Fest? Yeah. Well, we practically sold out of all of our inventory there.
Okay.
And it was a long 8-hour day, but
those are long days.
Yes. And I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, I've done several of them.
And the weather apparently turned out to be fantastic.
Oh, that's
it wasn't scheduled to be, but
most of them are.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the lack of water that I drank that day got to me.
Yeah,
so
it's
make
very
sure,
day.
when you do things outside, make sure you have a lot of water. But I identified a few things, such as where people look when they walk by, in terms of the stand. So I knew the stand offered some sort of point of view as to what the customer is looking for, and I was able to visually read that, and then I would take notes. So maybe this counter needs to be up higher. Maybe product needs to be brighter. The label needs to be this way or that way. You start to take these little cues, and these little cues start adding up to a lot of key performance indicators, we call in the business, things to measure. Okay. So I brought that same stand on wheels to the Shillington Farmers Market, and I said, let me try this. It's inside, it's stationary, I don't got to worry about the weather.
Right.
So I did that in August of last year, and we kept selling out. And then I started working on the labeling of what it looks like, and then the brand. I sort of did things backwards a little bit. And I realized that people, it's not just the honey that they're buying, but it's the story behind it.
Right.
And I have our story on our label. I have the pandemic success of it. And people like that. And then I finally, a space opened up, an opportunity that we're here. I moved the stand over. I built a couple other things, small things. And I still was picking up, okay, this stand should really be this high. We should maybe lower it over here. I would move things around. In fact, people were thinking I was crazy moving so many things so many different times. But what I was realizing is I'm learning a pattern of our customers and what they want. And then I realized in December, it's like, you know what? January and February are pretty slow, usually. Let me take the time, put everything in that I've learned, and redesign the whole thing. And I didn't want to just make a typical farmer's market stand, as some would call it, where it's just a counter
like a
on the alley, in the aisle that people go by, and that's it. They buy and they leave.
It's very unique looking so far. It's not done yet, I know, but
it's not done. But I will tell you, seeing it is completely like no other stand. I wanted a retail space inside a farmer's market and completely just redo the whole experience in that add an experience. And we want people to walk into our footprint now rather than just coast on the edge.
Right.
And that is sort of the things that we've learned in the 6-7 months of doing this, of where people's eyes are. What do they look for? What foods can we adopt or cross-pollinate with, as I call it, with other stand members? And how can we use our sauces to go along with those foods?
Right.
So there was a different combination of mistakes that I had to make, and things, lessons to learn through the way, just to get to this point. And I wouldn't have gotten to this point without doing that stuff. So I really encourage people to start small at first on your craft, make the mistakes, make them turn into lessons, and then just keep going forward no matter how hard they are.
Just learn from them.
Just learn from them and make sure, and I stress this a lot to people who I talk to and mentor with, have a journal. Write it down, because you cannot keep it up in your head. You have so much going on in your head that you're going to forget it.
Right.
And it's not really a good notepad, so write things down, study them, and always, always, always know the why behind it. If you know the why behind it, the how-to then follows. So it's very important for that.
That was very insightful.
Yeah, well, what can I say?
So knowing what you know now, what are some common misconceptions people have about bees or the honey business?
So 9 times out of 10, when someone says, I got stung by a bee, I don't like them. Again, 9 times out of 10, they most likely got stung by a yellow jacket. People put wasps in the same categories as bees.
Yeah, they're not.
And they're not. Interesting fact, though, bees evolved from wasps over 150 million years ago.
Interesting.
In fact, one of my kids' books are going to be touching base on that sort of topic, which I'm pretty excited about. But that is probably the most common thing. And then there puts fear in the culture.
Of course.
So I can go up to bees and pet them on their back, and they'll squiggle their butt like I'm itching their back. It is the most adorable thing to do.
The regular person, that would not be something you'd want to do. Right.
Until you truly know the bee, you're always going to have that fear.
And you know the bee.
I know the bee.
Sorry.
Uncle Bee knows the bee. So, and here's what's odd, too. Bees, honeybees specifically, too, they emit a certain frequency, a vibration, that when you are around them and you can match that vibration and frequency with your sort of energy, it becomes therapeutic.
Interesting.
And I noticed that when running a business, especially during COVID, how stressful it was. And when my stress would melt away was when I'm inside of a beehive.
Oh, okay.
So I'm surrounded by 30 to 40,000 stinging insects that most people would see as stinging insects.
Yes.
I'm surrounded by so much of this therapeutic energy, and it's just simply amazing, and it melts everything away. Nothing else matters but them, which is why they call it the husbandry of the hive. When you're inside, it is your job to maintain the health of the colony, and you have that sort of responsibility, and it weighs over you, and everything else melts away.
So what does the future look like for Uncle Bee's bees?
So it's experience for us and education. We would like to test this spot out as our beta flagship spot.
Okay.
And eventually, 3 to 5 years down the road, possibly go into a bigger retail location.
Oh, okay.
Where we can have full control of the experience. And then the tours that we do on our apiaries, those are very important. People actually put on the bee suits and go into the beehives with us. So that's something that people can sort of get their fear extinguished.
And it's something different. And
it's very something different. We want to create programs where we can work with the underprivileged, have them an opportunity to adopt a hive in their neighborhood. And it's like, that's their hive. So almost like an ambassador program, a bee ambassador program, where they get to control their hive, no one's going to mess with it because that's ours. You know, we want to make sure.
And because they're bees.
And they're bees. You know, they're stinging insects. You know, so we want to inspire our youth, which is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Inspiring them because they are the generation that will obviously lead after us. And then obviously generations after that. We want to make sure that the messaging is clear, that bees need to stay.
Right.
And not just honeybees, all native bees as well. And so our experience and education, we really want to expand on those properties.
Okay.
And obviously the taste of honey. We want to create programs where the Uncle Bees program can work with other companies in possibly donating honey to your local food bank and charity, donating honey to your school systems. You know, we got to get honey there. Honey's really good for you. What can I say?
Do you work with any of the schools so far?
We will be. We will be.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, right now we are looking at some local schools at the moment. We do work with Alvernia University right now. They have a couple beehives on top of their rooftop, 4 beehives that we manage as well. And they're going to be selling honey out of their opaque market, the general store, I should say. So they're pretty super excited about that.
But there's no students involved necessarily with that? Or
yeah, there will be.
Okay,
yep.
okay.
Yeah, because we want to sort of have a program there that the students can learn beekeeping.
Sure.
Possibly for some college credit courses.
Right,
there.
okay.
And then they get to maintain their own rooftop.
Right.
You know, I have a greater vision for Alvernia's rooftop and what it could look like because it's 50,000 square feet of just rooftop.
Yeah, just rubber.
I mean, all I can see.
I've been up there. I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the 401 Penn Street.
Yes.
Building. Yep.
I could see possibly maybe Reading's first, or even the region's first rooftop orchard up top.
Okay.
That would be phenomenal. I mean, the roof can hold another 2 stories, which is what it was designed for. So an orchard up there is no problem.
That's ambitious, but it sounds
it
sounds
but it
nice,
would
though.
it would set the bar pretty high.
Yeah.
And I think that would do justice to the local pollinators, but even to the local community
in general. Yeah,
you know, having them sell that to the local community right at their general store or at farmers market right below. The power of the bee is
the power of the bee.
Is just beyond everything that we can comprehend. I'm full of these bee puns, believe me.
Well, it's the soundbite ones. That's the ones that the power of the bee.
The power of the bee. Yep. So, you know, you want to be the change in the world.
Okay, enough of it.
Yeah. And cut.
So how can people reach out to you? How can they get a hold of you?
So on our website, they can reach out or go on www.unclebeesbees.com. Okay.
Spelled how it sounds?
Yep.
Okay.
And then Facebook, Messenger, they can contact us. Info at unclebees, or info at unclebeeshoneycompany.com.
So that is different.
There's 2. Everything leads to the same. Info at unclebeesbees.com. We have both, so it doesn't really matter whichever they want to prefer.
And then the Shillington Farmers Market.
And most importantly, the Shillington Farmers Market.
And that opens the new stands
February
next week.
23rd.
Okay.
Yep, grand reopening.
Grand reopening.
Yep, we have plenty of honey in stock and maybe some prizes to win and so just a good overall experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, thanks, Branden, for joining me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Great conversation.
Appreciate it.